Don't trick me into thinking I've got the names of the stream set up wrong. No, this isn't a PUBG stream. I hope this isn't a PUBG stream. No, it says stuff. I still had to check. Moment of truth. Yes. Fucking win. I've moved over just a day to the Streamlabs OBS, which gives significant gains, well, or improvements or optimizations, because optimizations is the word of the year, to CPU use in OBS, and it looks like a much better product, which is great. It's got loads of like things I can click on to do stuff that I had to do on lots of different windows before, but now I can do all on one. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. There'll be lots of questions, be time for questions in a minute. It will be mostly questions today, I suspect, more than anything else. But you know, that's pretty much what we do anyway. We'll go over a little bit of news, and we'll talk a little bit about my studio tour, and we'll talk about a little bit about 3.1 on Evocati, though we can't see much, unfortunately. We can talk about stuff that's been confirmed separately. And we can talk about like everyone being pretty happy with the state of 3.1 was for an Evocati release and stuff like that. So going through just a general, very brief recap of stuff that's happened very recently. Letters from Vega is out. So Letters from Vega is a Star Citizen machinima, which we may watch at the end of the stream. I don't know whether it's appropriate for us to watch it or not. I'll chuck it in the chat. So it's a machinima. I'm part of it. I'm just doing a little cameo role of a radio DJ in it. But it is by far the best voice acting I have seen in a machinima for Star Citizen, in my opinion. There's some other good ones, to be honest, as well. But I mean, obviously, I'm biased because I'm part of this one, and I hope they make many more. But check it out. Tell me what you think. Tell them what you think. Suggestions and stuff. Yeah, I really liked it. I like being part of it as well. So. Massive pluggaroos. Tomorrow, the
tricksy little hobbitses.
Raging Surge, thank you very much for... Look, I can see things. I know immediately that you've subscribed for 11 months. Fuck. Thank you very much. Appreciate the subscription. I can see it all now. It's just there. Bam. I might get a monitor here. Oh my god, I get a monitor here. Oh, yes. And then the world is my oyster. I don't like oysters, but, you know, my pearl. The world is my pearl. Wednesday, Vulcan Q&A comes out. Probably lots of information on drones and things that the Vulcan can't do and what chips it will fit in. Because, I mean, they should put that stuff just in the straight up concept cell stuff. But I suppose they don't know exactly what's going to be asked. And then on Thursday, we've got an ATV that's going to have a lot of info on the Reclaimer and Cyclone, amongst other things. And then an RTV there afterwards at 7 PM on the Friday at UTC. On the live streams where they take questions about Star Citizen. Also, in Calling All Devs, they answered 3 pretty cool things. Planetary outposts, they're going to be just the outpost buildings we've seen, plus some assaulted buildings like power generators and mining machines and defense turrets and that sort of stuff. So outposts, small, sporadic buildings. You can build up
tricksy little hobbitses.
Clusters of them. Thank you very much. I mean, you've subscribed to me for 5 months, and I still can't say your name. Arinzar. Arinzar? That's fucking good.
I'm going to buy so many spaceships.
Love your videos, smiley face. Thank you for the content you create. I'm always happy when I see your notifications popping up. Keep up the great work.
Well, I will keep my notifications popping up. Thank you very much, so much appreciated for the donation. But 3 major things they're answered. Planetary outposts, wham bam. The planetary outposts are going to stay that sort of size, single buildings. That's the outpost really, and then associated buildings around the outside. But there are going to be villages, there are going to be towns, there are going to be cities as well, which will have larger structures. The only ones that we know are going to be player-driven, as it were, player-built, are the outposts and like the defense turrets and the mining machines and things like that. Interdiction has been split up into 2 parts that they wanted to talk about. The stopping players going into quantum travel in the first place, which is basically when you start to go into quantum travel, when you start to spool up your drive, any damage you take removes from the percentage of your quantum like travel pool that you're building up. So you're trying to get to 100%, you're spooling up the drive. If you get shot, it's going back down. Or and based on the amount of damage you take, or based on where you get hit, whatever, will reduce that more. There are going to be weapons that are specifically driven towards stopping people go to quantum travel. There's also going to be those like area beacon things which pull you out of quantum travel as well. So they are going to be something you either deploy via a cargo bay or for like a missile, and they will anything that goes into its field will be pulled out of quantum. You don't actually know what's going to go into the field though. Could be Idrises, and they just wreck your stuff because you've pulled out a combat fleet. So those are basically the 2 ways that they're going to have quantum interdiction, which makes interdictors much more sensible when they're being called interdictors, because they're there to chase after things that might try and go to quantum, maybe. Is one of the other things. But also personal hangars. Personal hangars will be a thing. They'll be physicalized on planets. We might see them as early as 3.3, but no hard dates. They are working on them at the moment. They're in white box, and once they've signed off, they'll probably be added to the roadmap soon after. But I had the opportunity to go to an office tour, which is something I always quite enjoy. I'd always like to try and do 2 a year if I can, if they let me, because I don't want to obviously shit on anyone else's parade. They have a limited amount of space for them, and it's probably a little bit unfair, because they do have to kind of treat me like a normal backer, even though I cover the game a lot. So I will still always poke for as many as I can. So went to the office tour to the Foundry 42 UK offices, and their offices have expanded somewhat. So I think they own like all of the floors in their building now, rather than just some of them. And every time I've gone there, they've owned another floor. So they've expanded out a lot. They've got great facilities there for their staff. I talked to a lot of the staff that after my tour, when they were drinking with me in the pub, and I made sure I bought a few rounds in and stuff. It was pretty nice, but I poked them for information about what it was like to work with CIG, what people would like to work with, would you move to a different job if you could, what do you think of the project, what do you think of your particular parts of your project. Thank you very much, Jeff Williams, thank you very much for the super chat. Love your face, keep up the good work. You pays it, I says it. Someone saying it the other day, anytime there's a super chat, you should just say it, whatever it is. Now, that is not going to be my policy, But he also did say that if he ever said it, if he ever got in trouble for anything he said, he could just say the super chat defense. Just someone paid it. I had to say it. But yeah, so obviously it was great. Talking to the devs in the pub was great. Being a bit sneaky, and I felt like I was a bit more investigative journalist. I mean, I'm a massive Star Citizen fan, and my purview is to make Star Citizen enjoyable content where I can, really, and for the heavy fan base that is all into Star Citizen. But I still want to find out stuff. If there's stuff with the Crytek lawsuit, if there's stuff that I don't like about the game, if they think they've done stuff wrong, I will report on that. That's important. That's very important for us. But it was pretty much all of the devs were pretty fucking happy. I met a couple of devs, one very specifically, who was like, I could make a lot more money moving to another studio. They don't pay great here, but the project I get to work on, the experience I get, the team that I've got is amazing. I'm going to see this project fully all the way through until the completion of the game. And I asked him what he meant by that, and he was like, well, my project will be relatively short-term until a couple of years until the game is like fully released. But obviously could go beyond that as well with other similar projects. So I'd like to see where that could go. It's like, well, don't you want more money? Isn't that based on your career? And I was like, I do, but the amount of skills that I'm picking up here and the enjoyment I'm having, and the money's still good enough to live on and be happy. It's just I could make a lot more elsewhere now with the skills I picked up. And I thought that spoke volumes of he wanted to stay there with his team. He was really enjoying what he did. He wants to see the project through and really believes in it. And that was pretty cool. What else? There was a couple of other devs I spoke to that love their work. They like really love it. Talked to some. I don't know what I could say or not say about certain things. We were very drunk in the evening when we were at the pub. There was some very odd people there that weren't even part of the bar citizen that just turned up. Some weird people in the pub. One of the guys was a pro Bannerlords Mountain Blade player, and he was just like, you make the games. You were the reason these games exist. And I was like, sorry, no, I'm not a game dev. I'm a YouTuber. I report on their game. They actually make it. He was like, no. But you report.
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
He was fucking
Sorry,
awesome.
had to cancel my patron. Real life issues.
Oh my god.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. I absolutely love your face. Macca75. Don't worry, no. So the people that are patron to me, people that donate to me, people that whatever, really appreciate it. Like, it goes beyond. It allows me to do stuff a lot quicker. It allows me to push forward with stuff. I'm always going to have a donation goal. I'm always going to have a Patreon that says I'm going to do this with Patreon or get the website up or whatever to move stuff forward. And I will throw money at something that I want to do. For the
Tricksy
channel
little
or whatever.
hobbitses.
Or go to certain places. Descartes, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. And I'm looking at doing some other odd things for the channel, actually. I'm looking at potentially putting in mini ads into videos, which would be Star Citizen-based ads. They'd be for, like, organisations or peripherals or hardware that is Star Citizen-related. So that I could actually have a news show that was slightly more immersive and then helps pay for the channel and stuff. So I was thinking about doing stuff like that because I don't want to heavily sell out to certain things. However, talking about selling out, there are some games I might look at covering with single videos or doing reviews on that would be sponsored videos. But they would have some sort of multiplayer context to what I play or do. So, for example, I've been looking at Life is Feudal recently because I met some people at the Bar Citizen that I went to. They were like, we love it, it's great. It's got like, it's a little bit like Rust, but it's a really grindy game. And I was like, I do actually quite like
I'm going to buy so many
like,
spaceships.
try it out, but
Sneaky monkeys, drunken devs, and thespian space turtles.
oh, Harbinger.
What more could you ask for in a stream?
Harbinger is one of the gentlemen involved heavily in the Letters from Vega project, so please check it out, as I said earlier. Harbinger, am I allowed to watch it at the end of the stream, or would you prefer me to just signpost people over there? I didn't really know what to do with that. So occasionally I might do a review of a game on my channel.
I'm dodging bullets.
It's almost
Like
always
fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
the Star Citizen. Oh, Descartes. Thank you very much for the Jesus Christ. Lots of single bits. Why is there no 50 denomination? I don't know. But yeah, so Talk to the devs drunkenly. Great. Did I learn any extra things that I'm allowed to talk about during drunken time? Torellian's doing okay. Saw Torellian. Actually forced him to come out by getting loads of different devs to text him. And he was like, oh shit, I didn't realise you guys were out. Because I missed part of the tour with some of the guys that I really wanted to see, like Torellian and Luke Presley and people, because I was in the interview with Aaron. Because we're supposed to have like 20 to 30 minutes with Aaron, but Aaron just stayed there for about 50 minutes with me. It was fucking awesome. He was a legend amongst peoples. So that interview was really good. And that interview with Aaron is up on my channel in summary form and in its full uncut glory. And I will probably put a transcript up of that on my website. I am getting my own website, which will go up at some point. Just a WordPressy one so that living documents can live on there. I'll do some stuff on the redacted one as well. It's just I want the dev to have the control of my own website, get it fixed and push forward with stuff if I need to at any given time. As well. What else? Anything else I wanted to talk about before I take questions? Oh, 3.1's gone to Ivacati as well. So one of the joys of going to that interview at the time I did was I got to see them all running around polishing things and getting 3.1 ready, and I'm more able to talk about a lot of that stuff. So a lot more polish and a lot more push is going into 3.1 and 3.2 pretty soon after work-wise. But there's loads of stuff going on beyond that as well. There was lots of stuff going on with Squadron 42, which was like hidden from me on my tour because there was spoilers, secrets. It was very much sort of like guarded. But we pretty much had our run of whatever we wanted to see. And we were pushed around sometimes. Like I got to spend a good amount of time in the concept area because they're making your concept ships and your concept vehicles and stuff. I'm really interested in that. The new stuff, the stuff that I didn't know about or didn't have any idea about, and we didn't have enough time to stay there as long as I wanted. There's a couple of other places that I really wanted to, like some of the new ships, some of the Vandal ships, some ships I haven't seen properly yet. I was like, oh my god, I wish I could have more time in this bit to really have a walk around. Some of the stuff was hands-on; they'd let us mess around and stuff, and it was. Oh, we got to see a different sized ships that would fit in the Idris. Like they were, we just asked you to spawn stuff in. At one point, can you spawn a Vanguard in? Oh, it sort of fits in. Things like that. It was good. It was good fun. But I'll answer as many questions as I can about the interview because I did talk a bit to Aaron before and after the interview, and we had like a Q&A with him at the end of the day as well with everyone there. I met some very interesting people actually. It was good. Very much looking forward to BrisbaneCon now. I'm going to see if it's got the potential there for me to be able to interview Brian Chambers, potentially Aaron again, although probably wouldn't need to interview Aaron again so soon, unless more questions become relevant. But
dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
Oh, thank you very much. You've absolutely, I wonder what that sound was, but that was Cameron dancing like Neo. So Cameron working for CIG, but also plays games with me. We don't really talk about Star Citizen at all. I think it's because he's my friend. I think it's inappropriate to poke him for information about Star Citizen when he literally can't tell me. My PC specs: Intel Core i7, 2 gigs video memory, 12 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte HDD. Can my PC handle Star Citizen? Yeah, in the short term, it's going to be hard pressed. SSD for your hard drive is probably semi-essential at the moment. Your actual spec of your graphics card I would want to know. Say 2 gigabytes of video memory. That's not actually that many, so it suggests to me that you've got quite an old graphics card potentially, like 960 and below, which wouldn't be the best at the moment. That you would be able to run Star Citizen. Wait for 3.1 to actually go live. It's currently with Ivacati, but this is very much a alpha project at the moment, and you're going to have, even with meaty PCs, you're going to have a lot of issues and a lot of performance issues and stuff. So 3.1, one of the major focuses, which is coming out at the end of March live, is optimization and getting a load of those edge cases and not so edge cases fixed and solved so that a wider range of computers can run the game, and the high, mid, high, top end computers will get significantly more frames, hopefully. But right, let's take some questions. If you would like to ask a question in brackets. And then just ask kind of whatever you want about Star Citizen on the channel or whatever. Can I get you to ask CIG about implementing gun ranges across the verse where we can do target practice and stuff? So they used to have that with the hangars, didn't they? Where we could actually have a bit of pew 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 in the hangar. I suspect that's coming again. I will ask about it though. We've seen their they actually have their own practice ranges that they use. They spawn in a level, which is a practice range. And I believe that some of the gun shops will have practice ranges in as well. So yeah, we're almost certainly going to have it already. I will poke them and see when we're going to get it. How functional is the Reclaimer? Drones work. The drones don't work as far as I'm aware, because the first set of drones we're getting, I believe, are coming in 3.3. And I have seen... okay, so we've seen like the arm extender stuff. I'm not sure how functional it is in 3.1. Or how functional it will be when we first get it in 3.1, shall I say. So it will be pretty functional, though, the ship. It just won't... I doubt it will have the drones working at all until potentially 3.3. And then maybe not even then. Do you know if Star Citizen is going to have any underwater ships? So they are doing fully simulated, wave simulated water. They've talked about various edge cases. With ships obviously crashing into the water. Water is going to be in 3.3 on the planet Hurston, so it's good to bear that in mind. I suspect we will have ships capable of going underwater, possibly some dedicated underwatery type explorers in the future, but I think that's a further off than most of the other stuff in the game. Like, underwater they'll do, but just not for a while. But I believe we will be able to go underwater at some point. Character customization has made it for 3.1, unless something catastrophic happens during the Evocati build. You'll have persistent faces as well, so once you've saved your character's face, that will persist. I'm not sure how you'll be able to change it again once 3.1 goes live, but you will be able to customize your character. Board, you're free and clear to stream, just in case you missed it. Great. We will look at letters from Vega in a bit then, because it's cool, and I'm glad that I was a part of it. Thank you very much, Harbinger. Much appreciated. I will turn down... So I've just switched over to Streamlabs OBS, so the settings aren't great. So...
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Thank you very much. The second love, thank you very much. I'm just going to try and work out how to change. Okay. That should be significantly better volume-wise. So my voice, we can also probably... We'll do that as well. Hopefully that shouldn't be too disruptive. But turn up my voice a bit, turns down the rest of the volume. See anything in the tour that we haven't seen yet? Yes. A bit for, obviously, stuff for 3.1 in general. But stuff beyond that for 3.2 and beyond. A little tiny bit of Squadron 42 stuff, although it was relatively gated from us there because secret. A lot of concept stuff. There's a reasonable amount of stuff I can't talk about that I did see there. My hype and happiness with the project afterwards was probably about an 8 out of 10 once I left. The reason I lost 2 points really is because I couldn't see a lot of the stuff that I wanted to see. Because we didn't have enough time. Like, I wanted to see more stuff on the concept stuff. I wanted to see some more stuff on the planetary tech that they're working on and have improved. I wanted to see some more of the ships, and the larger ships, and walk through them and actually see bits I hadn't seen of them before. Will there be game modes or just free roam? Not sure what you mean. Any idea when SLI support is coming? So they're going to be integrating Vulkan, and I believe that's going to be to do with split frame rendering rather than alternative frame rendering. So you won't have to worry about SLI. Cards will just work together without SLI bridges. As far as I'm aware, the SLI isn't particularly well supported or working with Star Citizen at the moment. I'm not sure if they're going to optimize SLI before they move on to integrating Vulkan. No new news on the Vulkan API. I could ask some questions about it though. Can you give us a little bit of info on what kind of new concept ships that you are personally excited about? No. Like NDA, well, they talked a bit about the Vulture to me, which is obviously the Drake small salvage ship. But there are others that I had no idea existed or were being concepted. And I went, oh. But it does fit in largely to the purview of trying to have a small, medium, and large ship for every role in the game. But there is more beyond that as well. That's all I can say that's, you know, not smashing an NDA with a hammer. What's this 4K setup you speak of? So, I want to start recording and potentially streaming in 4K because I'm going to get a gigabit fiber stupid super line into my house because I can, because I'm literally effectively connected to the internet 24/7 anyway. It seems sensible. But you can get the Elgato 4K capture cards now, so I can actually capture footage in 4K, and my PC is capable of running Star Citizen in 4K and with optimization. Well, actually, I can run 4K in Arena Commander and that sort of stuff at over 60 frames. And that's what I want. I want 60 frames in 4K to be able to capture footage-wise, mainly for recording, but there may be the potential of streaming like that in the future as well, so in the near future as well. Can we summon ships in bigger ship hangars? I don't actually know what size of ship will fit into hangars, what the largest ship will be. However, I do know that the rest stops, which are the renamed truck stops, they're now being called rest stops pretty much across the studios, they have the ability to have ships docking with them, in like not just landing on them, but literally they're going to have docking ports so that you can dock nitrous and stuff to them. So some will be able to land in hangars, others will have to dock. Hey Board, I have a question and posted to one of your most recent regards to the hangar. Will they require a land claim, and what would be the cost if so? Oh, so hangars in cities and on city planets, you're not going to be able to land claim, I believe, on like Microtech and that sort of planet, because they are fully owned by Microtech. And same with, like, I'm assuming the same with Hurston, and the same with ArcCorp and stuff like that. They are owned planets owned by NPCs, not a land claimy thing. However, you can probably buy or rent hangars from them. That's the sort of places that you'll be able to put the hangars that you've bought with your game packages in as well. Potentially places like ArcCorp. But it might not be ArcCorp. It might be a more UBE centralized planet. Not entirely sure how they're going to be persistent physicalized hangars, or if they're going to be stacked physicalized hangars, or whatever, because we haven't seen them yet. The Deep Fryer, thank you very much. But there will be a hangar that you travel to on a planet that has civilization on. Also, potentially, you'll be able to build hangars and landing pads on your land claims as well. Don't know exactly how they're going to work. Shall I turn my volume up even more? I've turned my volume up even more. Is that okay? I can see the bar. Is the bar good? But fuck it, mate. See that? Oh, hello. That good? It's getting close to clipping now. But I hope that's okay. Hi Board. Do you think there will be animals that can ride? That we can ride? I don't know. I don't think they're working on any at the moment. Riding animals is odd. Like, I remember in Battlefield 1 where you could ride the horse, and it was actually pretty cool. But then you repaired it with a wrench when it was injured. And I was like, this is weird. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to ride animals. Potentially. In the future. Wouldn't expect it in the short or medium term, though. What's my favourite current combat ship? The Sabre. Just the normal Sabre. I mean, I love the Raven for trolling, but it's more sort of like a counter-troll. That EMP is just overly powerful, even still. But the Sabre, I just love the way it looks. I love the idea of it. Can you also ask about the hangars since... So we are going to have customizable hangers, I believe, still. Well, can you also ask about the hangers? Since we will be able to customize, can they let us put our hanger where we want alongside with our land claim? No. You're not going to be able to have your starting hangers along with your land claim. The land claims are going to be more for outpost building. So you're going to be able to build the pioneer base buildings. You're going to be able to deploy other structures as well, I believe, like defense turrets and mining machines and other associated little buildings. But you're not going to be able to place your starting hanger kaplunk down with your land claim sort of like already together. You might be able to build hangers on those near your outpost land or landing pads, but they're not going to be like this giant thing. Is there any org integrations coming soon? Well, you can watch Noobify's video when he talked about Spectrum. They are going to start to be working on orgs in the future. I just don't know when. I've talked to Erin a bit about org balance gameplay. Are they going to cap org sizes, things like that? Because I think that's important. You need to get that balance now. But I don't know what org integrations are coming when. How many NDAs did you have to sign? I believe I've signed 2 in total with the Star Citizens. Board, any indication from Erin about when the wider PTU release might be coming? No, but the live release is planned for the end of March, come hell or high water, according to Erin. I would expect next Friday for it to go to wider PTU. That would be my expectation. Yeah. Next Thursday, Friday, that sort of thing. Question, Squadron 42 2018. That is one of the questions that got scrubbed off. The questions that I wanted to ask because they either are going to announce it themselves or they didn't want to answer it yet or something. So I don't know. Yeah, you can manually uninstall the game. Just press delete on it, mate. Just done. Just get rid of it. The frames currently suck. In 3.0.1, the frame rate suckaroo. You put $100 best 3 USMC. I'm not sure if I should pronounce it right. I'll just call you best. $100 on Squadron 42 coming first quarter 2019. Okay, I think that's pretty reasonable. Do you see any current work on ArcCorp or Hurston? Not properly. Not a proper hands-on or anything. Saw some bits for it. A new streamer guy asking me if you can gift a starter pack to someone and how to do that. So just confirming. Huh? Yeah? You can give starter packs to people? What org are you joining? Would you be interested in setting up a board org? Okay, so if they... I might set up a BoredGamer social org.
Give me 4K board.
Oh shit, Ben Perez. Thank you very much for the massive donation. Give me 4K. Thank you very much for the $50. That is fucking huge. Thank you. Legend. Star. Smoke Break. There's extra bits onto your name that I didn't see. Ben Perez Smoke Break. Thank you. Love your face. If you need me to, like, I don't know, send you some dick pics or shout out for your org or something, drop me a message. Thank you very much. Appreciated. What was I talking about? What's going on? I got distracted by the monies. Oh, that's right. I'll go back to that in a second. Mike's good now. That's good. I have a GTX 970, but can't really afford for a new 1080. Should I wait until I can eventually afford a new card? No, don't SLI. Don't wait to buy a 1080 either. Wait to buy one of the new, probably one of the new GTX 20 series that are coming out relatively soon, I think in April. Consider pre-ordering one of them once you see their prices. That will be a relatively cheap way of getting the card. I'm hoping to see them for $600 to $700, if not a bit cheaper. They'll also bring down the prices of the 10 series at that time. So. Seb, I thought I'd said it so you didn't need to log in, but I might have done it the wrong way around. I apologise if I've been extra secure about taking donations. I should have just gone, no, everyone can send them. Quite genuinely, but you know, I'm an idiot sometimes. Optimizations, how good are the new frame rates for older rigs? I can't really talk about how 3.1 is. All I can say is that the intention for 3.1, when it goes to PTU and, well, to live, is to have much better frame rates and be much better optimized, even for the lower end PCs. Please say my name on stream. Commander Z Von. In Apprentices. Free shit, please, board. I'll be your best friend. Nah. Oh, joining orgs. Yeah, so I might set up a social org for BoredGamer. I also run a org called Nomad Black, which I will talk about when it is active. So once there is tangible gameplay that I can regularly play with people and don't have to constantly organise it, then I will activate the org and let people join. So we can all go on Discord together, when we all play together in my org. Might be able to do that with the social org in the shorter term. So I've just seen someone donating $100 through Super Chat. You pays it, I says it. My Dixie wrecked. Rude awakening. Thank you very much for the or is it Australian dollars? Is that not real dollars? God damn it. It's like 2 pence. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Love your face. Right, let's go back up here. There's loads of bloody questions. Jeez. Any thoughts on non-space skills like fishing and hunting with the immense amount of space, lakes, oceans, forests, animals, fishing and hunting in those areas? That would be amazing. I do think there is going to be, and that's this think, big game hunting and that sort of stuff in the verse. I think there's going to be trophies. I think there's going to be reasons to kill big animals, reasons to capture them. I'm hoping there's fishing because, you know, I want to live my dream of being a farmer in the game as well. Like, I do like that kind of gameplay. I love the idea of farming. I was talking to someone about License Feed today, saying, what should I do? And he was like, what do you want to do? And I went, I want to farm. He was like, okay, cool. You're going to love this. It's pretty toily, but you get a good gameplay out of it. Splatagoo, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. Love your face. Splatagoo, one of my mods, who is a legend. And yesterday we played some Unreal 2004 with the community. If people want to play random games with us, and some Star Citizen with us and stuff like that, please join my Discord. That is pretty much what it's there for. I'm being significantly more active on the Discord now, and also promoting the other BoredGamer streamers, which I'm doing lots and lots of games with regularly, because, you know, gaming's my life, BoredGamer's pretty much my life now, and I love playing games with my mates and the rest of the community, who are, you know, like, on the cusp of being friends as well. So thank you very much. Splatagoo, however, you are a friend. Thank you. Yeah, you're definitely going to have people trying to put animals on various spaceships, definitely, including the Dragonfly, indeed. What ship am I looking forward to the most? In the short term, the Reclaimer, it's my favourite ship. Longer term, I think it's probably, I'm very much looking forward to the Javelin, because I also have a Javelin now. I just want them all in the game and them to be working. Getting the Idris and Capital ships working for multiplayer is what I'm most excited for, ship-wise. With the land claim, will I be able to make a space resort? Unlikely, because you can only really build and drop things in a way that would be very flat. Like a resort, you'd want like towers and observation posts and cool rides and things like that. So you could probably have a really nice view, and you could probably do something, mess around and try and make something look pretty cool. But I don't think there'd be, at least in the short term, there wouldn't be a way to make it into a resort. They'd actually be able to make you money or anything. Do you have a neck beard? Oh, you're asking Catfrog. So I think you can literally see me. I'm just tubby and bald. There's literally no beard on my neck. It's cut off at the neck. You're not even supposed to do that with a beard. Oh, Keb, I'm so sorry that you're having, I mean, I'm really sorry that you're having issues trying to donate to me, because you're trying to give me money. So, sorry, man. I thought the link just allowed you to donate, and I apologise. Let me I mean, go there. So, if you go there, does it ask you, do you have to sign in? Because that's shit if you do. Like, I didn't sign up to this. Don't even know what I'm looking for now, Streamlabs. Sorry, I've become money greedy. So someone said they couldn't pay me money. Like, nope. How does that work? No. Donation settings. Settings. Show the amounts. Don't say bad words. You don't need to log in according to this. And I'm sorry that you do. There may be a bug. They might have changed something. Lots of stuff's happening with Streamlabs. Apologies, Zeb. But thank you very much for the thought anyway. I'll try and get it sorted. What am I looking forward to most in 2018? A playable, stable build of Star Citizen that I can show off to my friends like Deathcore and Azin and Kit. They are people that need to really, really want to play a game before they play it. Noodle and Zen and G, they will play Star Citizen with me because they want to just mess around. They're happy to do that. I want a game that has gameplay hooks. I need 3.3 and 3.4. I need object container streaming. I need so much. Yet 3.0.1 is very, very stressful. There is a lot of problems with it. It's really annoying. You have to. It's a labour of love to play. But if you get a good server, if everything goes right for you, or a majority of things go right, it's a great experience. It's just you have to have a good bit of luck at the moment to have that experience. What are your thoughts on the news reporting ship? The Mako is what it's called, the Reliant Mako. Do you think that it will be something you'd get into the streamer side of things? I don't know how it's going to work. I'll be getting one though. Because it sounds like it might have some cool stuff in-game. I think one of the major ideas with the render-to-texture tech and the streaming tech is, and the secondary viewport tech that it's probably going to use, is that I could record a race or an interview with someone with the face-over IP stuff, or a fight, or a crime, and have it immediately either saved and then shown later, or sent to another TV in-game, like a live show, or like a stream in-game, and I get paid by the amount of viewers I had, like on Twitch. Or maybe I could even output it to Twitch. There's so many cool things you might be able to do with it, but we don't know yet. So I think a lot of the joy of Star Citizen is that, what if they do this? Oh my god, they could do that, or they can do this. And it's not, they don't need to add any more features to do that. It's just interpreting the features they currently have. So that's... They're not really going to do any more form of feature creep, as far as I'm aware. They might add extra little modules onto the systems that they've already got, or things that might go, oh, well, we need to do this bit of tech to get this thing working. But it's not going to be these huge, as far as I'm aware anyway, these huge new systems. So, yeah. Keb. Oh, Keb, you fucking legend. You super chatted. Thanks for getting a detailed answer from Aaron regarding single world share versus regional shards. Had been wondering if CIG had found a way to transmit faster than light. I see what you mean. So yeah, they're talking about doing clever things with regional local servers and then handshaking off so that we can have everyone from America and Europe and China and Australia all playing together. But they said that might not be possible. They might have to have stuff regionally. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what they do. They're going to try and get everyone in the same game though, if possible. Let's move back up here because there are as many questions. Will there be land repair stations at Planet Outposts? I think we've got to have that, haven't we? They haven't announced it, but I think that's important. I think we need on-ground salvaging, on-ground repair, on-ground, maybe not refueling, but there needs to be a lot of those vehicles that can do the same sort of things that spaceships can do. Probably even tow trucks, even. Is the test build on the launcher selector now, or do you have to download the full thing like 3.0? So if you are on either Kati or on the PT release, I can recommend attempting to copy, so download the PTU launcher or whatever, or select the PTU. When it makes the folder for the PTU, rather than installing anything, copy across your Star Citizen folder into that new directory it's made, and hopefully it will just update it. Thank you for the use of my emotes. It's good to see some of them. Is that awesome blue fueling truck from the Vulcan brochure going to be obtainable? We will see that in the Q&A later tonight. It's one of the upvoted questions. But I suspect we will see all sorts of civilian vehicles in the future. They're adding loads of stuff that I was like, huh. I mean, we're going to get lots of hand gestures in game. We're going to get lots of dances and lots more gestures and movings and things. I think, I'm hoping that they go a little bit further with the face over IP eventually as well and have some of the gesture stuff in games. So maybe I'll have to move my arms a bit. Or pre-programmed gestures or something. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But again, feature creep. That is a little bit feature creepy. Let's wait for that after, like, after all of the mechanics that we're currently waiting for come into the game. So they want servers at 30 frames, so 30-tick servers. That's the plan. That's what the server's going to run at, and the effectively uncapped clients that they're going for 60. Quantum Monkey, thank you very much. Another relatively good friend of mine. I haven't met him yet, but I play a lot of games now with Quantum Monkey, and you're a legend. Thank you very much for helping us out so much in things like PlanetSide 2. Love you, Quantum Monkey, you're a star. Hey, Bored, jumping in a bit late. Has there been any mention of upcoming ships you saw on tour? Nothing I can talk about, but I talked about the Vulture, the small little salvage ship from Drake, and there are other ships that I did not know were coming out. I can't give clues. I can't give clues, unfortunately. I want to. I fucking want to. Some cool ones. You'll be happy. Do you think they will add something like the Crybaby beacon from Serenity for the pirates to bait repair? So you're gonna have to send out fake distress signals. Pirates are going to be able to abuse that system. There might be actual gameplay mechanics around it so they can do it more than once, because the service beacon mechanics will allow you to rate other players once they've completed their tasks. So basically, service beacons are player-enforced contracts where you go, I need you to pick me up because I'm being attacked by pirates. Come and refuel me. Come and repair me. And that sort of stuff. Player-enforced mechanics that you get paid once you complete that contract. And you'll then be able to rate each other. You'll be able to go, yes, he did this, he completed the service well, 5 stars. Or, he was great, he had a beard, don't like beards, 1 star. Redeemer, nothing in the short term is being worked on for the Redeemer, as far as I'm aware. There's a little bit of Squadron 42 stuff I found out from the pub that I talked to, and I was like, oh. They were talking about a dropship in that. It sounded like it might not have been the Hoplite, but it might be the Hoplite, so I don't know. There's lots of stuff I heard in the pub that I was like, oh, is that something new? Any potential future plans for visiting Foundry 42 Frankfurt? I want to visit Foundry 42 Frankfurt. I will put a CS ticket in, when I remember, potentially straight after this stream. Have you tried bone marrow? Yes, I use bone marrow in gravy. I actually used to make a bone marrow-based lasagna. I used to be a chef. I used to be a head chef, in fact. Have you heard or seen anything that would make FPS gameplay a bit easier to get into before the AI FPS way later this year? Well, 3.1 will have a lot more of the core mechanics better, and Star Marine and Marine Commander will be a lot better. Well, Star Marine will be a lot better for it in 3.1. It's getting the same updates. If you want to be playing against AI, though, you'll have to wait till later this year. AI on the ground is coming later this year. It's just not ready yet. The current pace of development, should I expect the first release candidate of Star Citizen around 2 to 3 years from now? That's a relatively good question. Yeah, so for the game is out product, 2 to 3 years is probably right. Yeah, probably 3 years. Hey, Bored, can you explain the affiliate system with orgs? So, affiliates are basically affiliated to the org, but they don't have to have it as their primary org.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much for the cheer. It's cashed. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Love your face. So yeah, so affiliates are associated with the org, but they don't have to have it as their main org. They might have different rules in orgs for affiliates compared to your main org. I think the idea is that...
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you very much. I think typically people want to... orgs want to keep people as having it as their main org, and this is a reason to just be an associate. So the affiliates are not full org members, basically. But we don't know how that's going to work in a gameplay sense in the future, though. There might be lots of expansive things that are totally different per org for it. At the moment, it's just basically saying, this isn't my main org. My main org is another org. Any idea on the release of the Titan Avenger rework? Yeah, coming with 3.2 in June. Bam. I'm very much looking forward to the Titan suits. It's interesting they've got Titan suits and Avenger Titan. Maybe they'll change the name of the Titan suits, actually. I see Bored as hand-twirling money grubbing. What? How dare you? Did you get a chance to see any more of the Titan suit? Well, it's interesting you said that, but no, I didn't, unfortunately. I did ask. They're doing concepty things with it. I saw in WTF's review of 3.1 that the Cutlass is unflyable due to the doors not existing in 3.1. Have you had any fixes on the horizon for this? I am not discussing much when it comes to 3.1 until it goes to the PTU wave, until it goes to first wave PTU. So basically, Evocati are relatively protect the content when it comes to leaks and stuff. However, the reason stuff's in Evocati is because it's unstable.
Love your face.
Oh, Simon says, thank you very much. I appreciate the continued subscriptions, and it was nice to talk to you also, sir. But yes, so 3.1, it's in Evocati, it's buggy as fuck. As soon as it becomes stable and less infuriatingly buggy, then it'll go to first wave PTU. But that sort of stuff is constantly being fixed. Like, they see it and fix it as quick as they can. If I have a question for the Redacted podcast, can I preemptively ask it, or do I need to wait until you guys are live? If you go into Saurus's channel and then type in ! question, it will come up a question document that you literally can click on, Quantum, bam. Or ask me after the podcast and I'll send you the link. After this stream, I'll send you the link. Yes, a 970 GTX is good enough. However, and they're really solid NVIDIA card, they have started to nerf them. So NVIDIA don't produce the same sort of driver updates they do for the 10 series. They've end-of-lifed the 9 series. And by that, all I mean is it doesn't really benefit from any of the improvements and optimizations they make for other games, because NVIDIA are sometimes pricks. So you might have to look for custom drivers to get a really optimized experience. You don't have to. It's just... And you're probably still about to be fine with it, to be honest. It's just, I hate cards that could be performing better, not performing better, because the actual manufacturers aren't writing the drives for them. So hopefully there'll be some custom drives for them in the future. Yes, 970 is fine for 1080p. Benjamin, you don't have to rile the community up to paying me money. It's good. I'll deal with this over like a couple of months. This donation goal was longer. It's great. It's fine. I'll put some of the Patreon's money into it as well. I really appreciate the amount. Anything with donations and stuff, it just allows me to do something quicker. So once that donation goal is done, I'll move on to another donation goal. I've got a list of stuff that I want done and want to get, and I'll go next donation, go bam, boom, let's get this out. So for example, I've received like $1,600 or something, or $900 or something for a gaming laptop, which I haven't bought yet from donations because I'm waiting for the model I want to become available. It's a 8th gen Intel one with 6 cores, 12 threads, because it's going to be amazing for my needs, so I can, on the fly, when I'm at like events like I-62, for example, do, or in America or Germany or whatever, I can do video editing there really easily, or at least significantly easier than I could on a crappy laptop or a mid-range laptop. But I'm waiting for that. So thank you very much, but you don't need to pitchfork people into doing it. Appreciate it. What are the limits of storing smaller ships inside larger ones? Can we put a terrapin inside a Carrack or an Idris? Any ship that it will fit in, that will go in the doors comfortably, and that will can land. That's basically how you see if you can fit it into the ship, and if you can use it like that. So if they fit properly, yeah. If they're really, really hard to fit in, then probably no. Basically, when a ship is landed fully in a ship, it becomes part of their physics grid and can move with them. Yeah, they've been having problems with doors for a while in Star Citizen. Do they have... because it's also part of their portal culling tech. So at the moment they use portal culling. So when a door's closed, it doesn't render anything behind that door. It doesn't need to. And when it opens, it renders the room behind it. So I think it's part of that as well. They kind of detach the doors because of that. I think it's caused some issues. Do they have any fix for navigating on the dark side of planets? I believe they're going to make lights better. I believe they're going to have various vision types as well. They've talked about them. And I think in the shorter term, we might see better glow and stuff like that. So we might be able to make out things a little bit better. The lights aren't particularly effective, Spatigo, is one of the issues. But I think they are making them better as well. Yeah, SSDs are super important for Star Citizen at the moment. Do you think it's viable that news reporting in-game will generate in-game currency similarly as streaming on YouTube and Twitch? That is how my brain is thinking about how the Mako will work and how streaming in-game will work. And if it has that sort of integration where I can stream the game potentially effectively and make money in-game from it, I will fucking lose my mind. Because I will be happy as a pig in shit. Are there weapon attachments in 3.1? They have been working on weapon attachments. I'm not sure when they're coming out. They're not currently on the roadmap for 3.1. Let me just check, actually. See if they've added something on the roadmap I didn't see. See, I know they're working weapon attachments, and they are coming relatively soon. I'm pretty sure they wanted them in 3.0. But it's whether or not... weapons and items... No, they're not on the roadmap, but I do expect them coming this year. And potentially we could get the first iteration of gadgets this year as well. But again, they're not on the roadmap, so don't hold me to that, because I don't know. Hi, Board, will there be a fix for the FOV in 3.1? I believe a lot of the FOV issues and HUD issues and UI issues and all that sort of stuff have all been fixed or fixing. I think they're looking at fixing or have fixed the IFCS and ESP stuff as well. The core experience should be significantly better in 3.1. You mentioned in another video that they had forklift operational, at least for NPCs. Do you think that will be a long-awaited cargo transfer activity for unloading and loading ships? So that was literally a picture from the newsletter, I think. So one second. Let's see if that is true. Does this work? This fucking works. Cool. So... yeah, so this is the forklift that we saw. It's in the newsletter. Here's the newsletter. Let's copy that without my personal tag. So, yeah. I suspect that they will be used in-game by players to move things around, maybe. Because anything that an NPC can do, pretty much a player can do. So, yeah, I hope so. I also suspect we'll see tractor beams in space for moving things around as well.
Dodging bullets like fucking...
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the bits, Hanif. Love you. I mean, I will shower in those bits like a shower boy. You had. What else have we got? What else have we got here? Data runner, info runner gameplay. I suspect, Michael, that you will see more and more missions appear for info running and data running this year, and potentially start to see data as an item that you can pick up once looting and things are in. So I am expecting some of that gameplay this year. Again, it's not on the roadmap though. But smaller things like that maybe have left off the roadmap because they don't know whether they're going to fall, or because they're part of another mechanic already that's already in the roadmap. Does it take like 10 minutes to find a land on a planet, or am I doing something wrong? So, Depends where you're going. So once you come out of quantum travel near a planet, you can then use the orbital marker beacons, look around to get closer to where you want to get to. Then you afterburner straight down to where you want to go, and then when you're reasonably close, but not too close, you then slow down because you'll be going really fast. It shouldn't take 10 minutes, but 3 to 5 minutes potentially is a reasonable amount of time. They will balance the time it takes and where you come out of quantum travel and stuff to get to planet surfaces, so people are invested in the time taken, but it is not taking the piss. Any news on the Merchantman? Nothing I can tell you, which would suggest that maybe there was something they told me. Can we hire NPCs to mine and farm for us, or will they do that? And will they do this when they're offline? They haven't 100% confirmed. They don't want Sim Citizen, though. They do want the gameplay to be relatively hands-on, and they've suggested they didn't really want or didn't really like the idea of NPCs doing much for you while you're offline, other than potentially defending you and stuff like that. So I don't 100% know, and we don't know how it's going to be balanced or talked about, because it will be whatever the community wants probably for that sort of stuff. So we don't know yet, but they suggested they didn't want to do stuff when we were offline. You mentioned in another video that they, that's right, that's what we talked about a minute ago. Are you planning a trip to Austin, Texas for a slightly relevant gaming event this year? By the way, pew pew pew, finger guns. Steel Stark. Okay, I'm trying to get my visa at the moment. I have had, obviously I'm very open with the fact I've had mental health problems and anxiety issues. I do not travel well. That is, I've never been to America. There are lots of issues, but I will try to get my visa and we'll see what happens. I'm not 100% holding out. I'll be able to get a visa for having bipolar and stuff in the way that I've had it and had to be medicated in the past and that sort of thing. So we'll see. We'll see. I do want to go, but I'm also terrified of going. But it's going to be fine. We'll see. We're one step at a time, okay? I'll keep everyone updated. What is the story of the interdiction at this point? I remember they were talking about abandoning the idea of boarding ships. No, 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 no. Shipboarding is very much there. In fact, you'll see shipboarding and ship defense this year, with NPCs being able to defend ships. Or at least that's the plan. Interdiction at the moment, 2 types of interdiction. Damaging a ship when it's trying to spool up to go to quantum drive will basically slow or prevent its ability to do that. There's also going to be the quantum interdiction devices, which when you come in to the range of, or slightly after you've gone into the range of, they will pull you out of quantum, and you either need to destroy the device or get away a long distance to be able to go back into quantum. So those are the two ideas. Boarding is very much in there. Did the performance enhance? Yeah. What? Talking about penis enlargement or something? See, I'm relatively good at Star Marine. Did I notice a VR headset lying on anyone's desk? I talked to some people about VR. They're keeping it in mind. I suspect it will be with Squadron 42 first. I'm not sure if Star Citizen as an MMO is actually that suitable in a competitive way to use VR. But we'll have to wait and see. But Squadron 42 will be. Almost certainly be a really fucking good experience. Can you talk a bit more about the Vulture? Is it EVA salvage only? Is it onboard processing gear the main thing? I can't talk about the Vulture more, no. One of the other things is I didn't see or talk that much about it. They just talked a little bit about it being, again, sort of like what we already know. So I don't really know much more about the Vulture, exactly how it works anyway. Do you know if the lag has been fixed yet, or if it will be fixed in 3.1? Certainly not fixed yet. There's always going to be issues with lag in online games anyway. I'm not sure entirely what I mean, but 3.1 is definitely going to be significantly better than we've previously had when it comes to optimization, networking, pretty much everything. Responsiveness of ships, the IFCS, the ESP, aiming in general. Given that we have the Hammerhead, do you think the Polaris needs an upgrade in stats? No. No, no, no. It's fine. It's stuff like that can get balanced in game. On paper at the moment, they're all good and fine. They're both interesting ships that can fight each other in different ways. Is it true they are reworking all Avenger ships to increase the size and functionality? To increase the size, yes. So for Squadron 42, they needed the Avengers to be, like, I think it's 25% or 30% larger. So they're scaling them up. 3.2, you're going to have that. So that's in June. Blink if you saw Hello No. I'm not going to... I did see some stuff on Holomaps though. What are you most looking forward to doing in the full game with the board streamers? As a smallish group in the verse. Some exploration stuff, messing around on planets, messing around with wildlife, lots of stuff, just lots of missions and things, I suppose. How is it constantly being fixed so they haven't released any updates? How do we know? Well, the 3.1 they're fixing constantly. Like, it's in Evocati now. That's literally what they're doing. They do release hotfixes and stuff, but they don't give us patch notes on them. 3.0.1 isn't being fixed really anymore because they've moved on to 3.1. Sorry if I wasn't clear with that. After watching Nubifire's interview, I'm still left wondering what incentive we're going to have to use Spectrum over Discord / TeamSpeak. Any ideas? Well, it'll probably be directly hooked in to the face over IP stuff. It'll probably be for immersion, and it'll probably be easy for use in immersion. I suspect that people will also use Discord. Is it true that CIG has said can't have multiple ships in game at once if you own more than one ship? No, they haven't confirmed that at all. I believe they said they don't want NPCs flying a giant fleet of small ships while you're in a ship, especially when you're offline and stuff. So also NPCs will have their own ships as well that they can fly. So they don't typically want you to have lots of single-man fighters with NPCs in. So there will be a balance and a lock to that, almost certainly. So you can only have a certain amount. Did I get a look at the new Redeemer while I was on the tour? No, I did not. I did ask a couple of questions about the Redeemer, and some relevant devs told me that it is certainly on their radar. Is that what I will say? Hi, Bored, welcome back from your tour. Really great interviews from you and Noob this week. Yeah, so we're very privileged, but also dedicated to the Star Citizen stuff. Like, those sort of interviews are available to people if they really poke for them. And they're bringing out a new way of being able to talk to devs and stuff. I'm going to see if I can start to get Skype interviews with people, interviews like BrizzCon and other events that are in the UK especially. But there's no reason why I shouldn't push to talk to devs more often about... I don't want to go for more technical questions, I think, but I just don't want questions that have been answered 12 times before. I want to find new stuff out where possible. And some of my questions are unfortunately scrubbed because they were unable to be answered. They interfere with marketing. They're about to answer them themselves anyway, or they don't have an answer for a couple of them. Have you ever put a ship into high/low orbit above a moon? Not in what form of orbit? I haven't. I'd love to try and get it so that I'm actually orbiting the planet properly, so that I can see the sun constantly and I stay relative to that. That'd be cool. I haven't actually done that yet. There's loads of stuff I haven't done in 3.0, mainly because the frame rates weren't the best, and the gameplay wasn't there really for me to cover it gameplay-wise in the way that I want to. But 3.1 should be. 3.0 has had its problems, definitely. VoIP and FOIP are Spectrum integration, I believe, entirely. Or they're running the back end. You said during the summary that if beacons do not make it into 3.1, we may get another ship. Oh, so, yeah, well, basically what Aaron said, like, off the cuff in the interview was that, yeah, if we don't get service distress beacons in 3.1, we try and get them out as soon as possible with, like, a mini patch and maybe another ship. That's what he said. So that might have just been an off the cuff sort of like, explaining how patches work to me. If you hire NPCs, can another player command them? Oh, I don't actually know, but I assume so, Flymo. There's going to be a permission system in the game that allows certain players access to certain terminals and consoles and features on the MFDs and doors and locks and things like that. You can say this guy can only go in these areas, this guy can only go in these areas. So I'm assuming you can do that for NPCs as well, saying this guy can also command you, potentially. Or maybe you just give rough orders to NPCs and say, you can use these systems or whatever, and they just do their jobs. Maybe that's why you'd want a player over an NPC, because NPCs might not be dynamic at all, which would kind of make sense. Any talks on public transportation? Only like the pictures and stuff that we've seen. It's been heavily suggested that public transportation will be a thing. We've seen the Schuben, which I assume is a nod to Half-Life's little monorail. So yeah, expect public transportation. I don't know much more about it though. How will mining mechanics and animations work in 3.2 and beyond? So mining mechanics in 3.2, very basic. It's going to be you landing on a planet and you drilling on that planet. Very basic. Beyond that, it's going to be you surveying, you drilling into asteroids, and that sort of stuff. Lots more mechanics after that. But 3.2, very basic mining. If you go to Sitcon in Texas, you'll go 2 weeks, but I go, okay. I'll keep people apprised after I can see if I can get my visa or not. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Yeah, I will try. We'll do it by stages. We'll do it by stages. Okay. Visa first. Visa first. Then it's manageable and my anxiety can deal with travelling. As long as I'm in control of the situation, I'm good. Small and manageable. Do you think they will add extra character slots in the full game? I think you'll probably get a character slot for every account package you own. I don't know if there's going to be SLI support for Star Citizen in the future, or if it's just going to be multiple graphics card support with Vulkan instead, which would be better. Question see above. Where, Windlord? God damn it. I can't see his question. Feel free to ask it again. If I haven't asked you a question, and genuinely haven't answered it, feel free to ask it again a good few minutes' time, because I am currently 8 minutes behind in chat. Did you see any game changes? Oh yeah, okay, so some of the ships are pretty cool. For me, one of the ships is a game changer. However, it doesn't have any game-changing mechanics on it, the one I'm thinking of. There was a few. I'd have to look through my notes again. But there was some cool stuff. Edge information out of me. Do you think the Imperator subs will be able to play the Reclaimer, Razor, Terrapin, and Cyclone in 3.1? I believe, don't subs get a week of the ships when the patch comes out? But yeah, almost certainly subs will be able to play with, they'll get the ship of the month, and it will be all of the new ones in 3.1. Cutlass variants. Yeah, they're working on them. Or they will be working on them. Yes, I'm getting fat, but I'm starting to lose weight. I think I'm talking to someone in a minute who's also going to be losing weight with me at the same time. It's more of the things you'll start to see on my Twitter. It's like, I've lost 2 stone. That's a lie. But yeah, you know what I mean. All right. Benjamin, you had me at beers. So, Gamescom is... they're still going to have a presence at Gamescom this year, and probably every year. They're not doing a large presentation at Gamescom because it's too much dev train. They might do it again in the future, though. And they might do a presentation, a big presentation in the future. I suspect once they're releasing, the year of their release, they may very well do something like that. Do you need a mining ship to mine, or can you also do it the old-fashioned way? There will be, I believe there will be hand mining, and with a mining tool of like a laser or something. I'm not actually sure if that's coming in 3.2 though. Is there any chance of CIG making a hoplite Battlefield upgrade kit? No, because they moved away from the Battlefield upgrade kits, and the hull, the interior hull of the hoplite is different from the rest of the Vanguards. It's also cheaper. Oddly, I think it's got more functionality than, well, I mean, different functionality, but it's pretty cool. Do we have some info on the Murray Cup and SATA Ball in the persistent universe? I don't know about the Murray Cup, but the SATA Ball will be in game at some point, just not in the short term. That's what Aaron said when I asked him about it. Do you expect mining mechanics and animations to work? Oh, we talked about that already. Animations, they are smoothing animations and making them better. They're adding more animations and that sort of stuff. And all the animations that we already had or that are in ships are getting reworks because they were animations that were reused between ships. Any news that you can share on when the ship buying in-game with AVUEC will be implemented? The plan for that is for 3.2, I believe, with the new purchase consoles and the new item consoles that allow you to buy weapons and other larger items as well. Don't hold me to that, don't hold them to that, but I believe that is the plan. Did I see the Carrack? No, I did not. One of the things I was disappointed about because I believe I could have saw it if I'd asked. If you build yourself a base on a planet, do you think that you'll be able to generate a certain amount of jump points around the planet for fast travel? There are going to be beacons that you can place, and I believe that one of the cyclones, the recon cyclone, actually has beacons that will allow you to quantum travel or fast travel to points. But there are also going to be beacons that you drop, which require maintenance that you can use as quantum travel points. Any word yet on when they're phasing out our saved $0 CCUs? You would like to know when the deadline is. I suspect they will announce it. No hard dates that I know of. I've always wondered, where do NPC pirates buy and sell their stuff? There is going to be a place for pirates to do that, and outlaws. There's going to be outlaw fences and stolen good fences and stuff that you'll have to sell those goods to, and that gameplay is coming this year. Also, NPCs. There will be NPC orgs that players can join. And that's coming this year too. You can enjoy the Terrapin in 3.1. What happens when you crash on a planet? You explode. You die. You die and you're dead in the moment. Oh, no, I was just reading about a planet-side job with a good question and then it jumped ahead. Just so you a new video, will a planet-side job be monitoring commodity prices or will buy-sell prices pop in the UI for everyone everywhere? I don't know fully how the economy is going to work. I do know it's going to be different for each planet and each system. I don't think we will have absolute knowledge unless people make external programs for it. So yes, potentially you could do some form of job, or at least aid a guild or run some form of system where you could monitor the commodity prices to help other players. But I don't know. What's your role in Letters from Vega? I am a radio DJ in the background. Hopefully I will be in future ones as well. You might see me running around or something. Yes, I very much was happy about being part of the Letters from Vega. Any news with the Genesis Starliner? No. I didn't ask about it either, and it's Zen's favourite ship. I will, it's probably not on the radar at all this year, probably, I don't know. I'll try and find out some more about it. Knowing that mining is going to be fairly involved, do you think there will be an automation feature after you reach certain levels so to avoid long-term grind? I suspect there will be abilities to make mining outposts and mining machines that will do it. I also suspect they will be able to safely mine and like go AFK, but it will be at a really slow rate to safely mine. You want to be like optimized, efficient mining. You're going to be needing to tend your megawatts on your power that you're drilling into the ground with and looking at all the materials and stuff. And potentially there are hazards that might occur, so just bear that in mind. They don't want stuff to be super automated. They want the gameplay to be relatively hands-on and fun because of that. Do you get the sense that they develop assets such as systems ahead of time while tech such as object container streaming is being developed out? So they have teams working on all these separate issues simultaneously, but only a certain amount of feature teams and art teams and that sort of stuff. So I think sometimes that's the case. Sometimes they're working on stuff and they finish it significantly ahead of time, but they require other tech. I do think they've been working on object containers for a long time. It's the streaming that they're trying to get into the game now. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's different for every feature and every section of the game. How long do I think before they pull the plug on Star Citizen if Crytek doesn't? Probably in 10 to 15 years when the game's come to end of life. Do you think we'll see the PTU soon? I think next Friday. Do you think we'll have any updated information about buying ships with LVBC? As I said, I think we're going to get it in 3.2. After your office tour, do you estimate as the beta/gold release year? Oh, God. I think we could potentially have a beta for the game at the end of 2020. We potentially could. We'll have to wait and see as it goes forward. There's a lot of stuff they want to do, but that's the sort of time we're going to start to be seeing a lot of the game in there. It's like, I mean, Erin suggested that we would be able to potentially travel to other systems next year. Like that's something that we're looking at. So they are now starting to implement all of those mechanics and things very slowly at the moment, but it's getting there. Do you think that when you set up your base/mining operation, that you will have access to a trade terminal similar to other outposts? Oh, that way you can automate your sales. I don't know. No, I think you'd have to do it as a player contract. So what you'd do is you'd go, I'm going to say that an NPC or a player needs to come and pick up these goods and send them off and sell them for me. That's the way I'd do it. Contracts. And that would make sense for their engine. They are building those player-enforced contracts. COG will be replacing the current DirectX 9/11 with Vulkan, and they've also talked about that they might be adding DirectX 12. Yes, that's correct, Hath. Anything on the upcoming star map? I know they're integrating it into the game better, but I don't know when. I don't know what better actually means. Since they moved away from the battlefield upgrade kits, PKs, do you think that they move away from modular ships? No, modular ships are very much a thing. And modular ships are very much going to be a focus at some point. Yeah, and it's one of the reasons I bought a lot of ships was because of the modular stuff. I'll be in future ones if I want. I do want, Alex. Make me part of Letters from Vega. Slowly getting bigger and bigger parts until I'm the main part. It turns out that I was the king. Did you see any Vandal-related stuff you can or can't talk about? Only a couple of their ships. Lots of the stuff that is new or super... There was stuff they really didn't want us to see for Squadron 42 when we were there. Like, they were like, nope. They're doing cool things. So, okay. Did you see, and can you say anything more about the Phoenix? No, I didn't actually see anything on the Phoenix. Or maybe I saw the interior of a luxury ship, but I didn't know what it was. I was like looking around the screens. I thought it was the 600i, but it might have been the Phoenix. Do you think CIG said the development of Star Citizen started in 2020 in the recent court documents, even though they developed it over a year in Kickstarter sales? Well, I mean, I see the development of Star Citizen as the game now in 2013. It's like they started from 7 people and then they actually changed the scope of the game in 2013. So it's kind of almost its own new game. Take that as you will. If you don't like the project and you think it's all a scam and stuff, then don't contribute to it at all and just sit and wait. Feel free to tell people that you were right if you were at the end of it. But there's no point in trying to debate people that say it's a scam and it's not going to work, because I can't disprove you because we don't have a tangible product yet. It's as simple as that. BoredGamer, are you ETFing for 3.1? I am indeed. It is, and it certainly is an Evocati build. On a scale of 1 to 10, being the best, how would you rate the answers to the questions you can't tell under NDA? I can't answer the question because that's confusing my brain. There was stuff that I wish they had answered
that they couldn't, and there's stuff that I wish that I could have asked Aaron that I wasn't able to. What excuse do they have for such a long wait? This game has been developed for several years. Why are they taking so long, and is no one calling them on this? I mean, lots of people are calling them on this. People don't want to wait. Also, people do want most people, I think want the new expanded scope of the game. Again, it's something you have to sit and bear and wait for, because it's not going to be in beta for at least 2.5 years, really. So, I think people are pretty aware of that now. The scope of the game changed significantly, and whether it's for the better or worse in the shorter term. I mean, I'm certainly glad that they added like planetary stuff and that sort of thing. But I mean, I do want the game now. I want it, but I'm gonna have to wait for it. Otherwise, it's gonna be shit and only be a small portion of the game. So if you bought Squadron 42 back in the day, that will be Squadron 42, and I believe also Episode 2. They're all supposed to be standalone AAA games, and they're all like extra games. They didn't split Squadron 42 into 3 separate products. They went Episode 1, boom, that's what they talked about originally, and that's what they're doing. And then they were talking about the other 2 as mission packs, but I think they're all becoming their own AAA games. Can the industrial hangar be placed within an asteroid? Well, it exists there now, but I don't know how they're going to place certain hangars. We're not entirely sure how they're going to be placed on planets and what planets they can be placed on, so I don't know. Can you tell us anything about distress beacons or distress comms? What kind of release time frame? So they're planning to have, if possible, the distress beacons in 3.1. And then you're going to be able to quantum travel to that location of that person, and you'll pay them money based on whether they complete their service with you. However, 3.2 is going to have a lot more of the service beacon stuff, and they're going to be constantly improved from patch to patch. Any news on the Avenger rework? Do you think see it in the 3.1 update? No, we should see it in the 3.2 update, almost certainly. I was expecting a detailed roadmap for Squadron 42 by January, so a couple of months ago. I'm not sure why it's not there. It's really fucking annoying me, because they did say they were going to do that, and then they went silent about it. So I'm not sure if that's because... okay, so one of the things that Aaron said to me is they're projecting the roadmap a year ahead for the Persistent Universe stuff. So once 3.1 comes out, we should see a more detailed roadmap of patch first quarter of 2019 as well. So 4.1 or 3.5, whatever they decide to call it. But maybe that's also because Squadron 42 is going to be next year now. We don't know. We don't know where it lies, because they're not telling us. Quantum Monkey is trying to outblind me again. Control your pet, damn it. He's not my pet, but also try not to outblind him, Quantum Monkey. That's Harbinger's thing. Don't take it away from him. Any dropship developments? Oh, I heard some things. I heard some things about dropships, but I'm not sure what I can say. Nor if I'm sure if what I heard was correct, because it was in the pub. Will there be small-scale personal space stations that you can have as your base at home? We don't know. I'm expecting that because space is big, and because they did land claims and outposts and stuff on ground, that we may well have space stations that we can build in the future, but I have not seen anything to confirm that. Can Harbinger be the helmsman for the community board javelin? We will find a role specifically for Harbinger for that javelin. Face customization is coming in 3.1, unless there's some sort of major explosion, and that will be persistent. So, well, it's some player customization. So hair color, eye color, several types of face. So it's a very basic stuff, and then it will evolve from patch to patch with more stuff and more features before we get, I suppose, full sculpting of faces. I'm not sure when the full sculpting will be coming. Interdiction generators can be dropped out of a ship. Can they be kept on board a ship and activated? I don't know. All they've talked about currently is dropping them out of ships, though. Were you able to ask how many more ships they are planning on before the game is released? No, but as far as I'm aware, they typically do 8 to 10 a year for concept ships. So, Chub Yub, lovely name by the way, the ship stuff is semi-irrelevant to the rest of the game being built. Like, there are ship teams that are separate from the rest of the teams. I'm sure it takes some extra QA work and some integration work, but nothing like not huge lengths of time tangible-wise. So those extra ship teams and extra artists that they've got just building ships generate fuck tons of money for the game. So it's kind of important for them to have them. Yeah, they need to get shit done. Yeah, I wouldn't say they need any further pressure put on them to do that, because they are doing it. Like, one of the things I get to do in the office stores is go and make sure they're fucking doing stuff. Make sure I'm relatively happy from my point of view. I suggest if you get an opportunity to go in an office store, you do, because you'll get to see stuff. However, I do want them to do it in a timely manner. I don't want them to fuck around. One of the things like Gamescom, they're not having a presentation at Gamescom this year. That will put more time into game development. They could go to Gamescom, they could do another fucking presentation and make even more money if they wanted to, because they make them a load of money, those presentations. However, they take time away from game development. So yeah, we want stuff done. That's a fair enough point of view. But not build more useless ships is sort of like, well, it makes them money, it doesn't really affect development much. Question, how are the large ships coming along? What's coming next to the PU? It's an odd question.
I am going to buy
I don't understand it more than anything else.
You know I love you.
Oh, Floorboard, I love you too. And you say it with money, which is my favourite way of saying I love you. Thank you, Floorboard, for the massive donation. Very much appreciated, mate. I do appreciate it, thank you. I appreciate everyone viewing and donating and whatever, feedback and stuff. Even if you're just trying to troll me and say, it's a shit game. Thank you very much for watching, because all interaction is good for my channel. Thank you. So, large ships coming along well. The Idris and the Javelin, very well. Like, I'm hoping that we get them in the game pretty soon. Once they do object container streaming in 3.3, that opens the gateway for them to possibly be in the game. But obviously, they might be waiting on Squadron 42 as well now. We don't know when that's going to be released. That could be this year. Could be early next year. We don't fucking know. There's some cool stuff coming into the PU, though, that I was not aware of. When will the voice chat or team play channels come to Spectrum? Well, voice chat's coming in 3.3 with voice over IP and face over IP. I'm not sure about the other stuff in Spectrum, but I haven't fully watched Nubifire's video yet, so you might have some more interesting stuff on there. I think it's fair enough to have the opinion they need to get stuff done. Or shit done. I think it's fair enough that people have the opinion that they don't think they're working stuff. Darth Mulder, thank you very much. I appreciate the sub. Because people don't see what they do sometimes. They don't see what they want to see. And there's an expectation now that they've had this huge amount of money and they've been working on the game since 2011. Whereas I see it differently because of the research, and I have a different point of view to certain people, which is I see the game being developed since realistically 2013, which is when the game scope changed massively and they went, well, let's go with this game then, because we've got the money to do it. Which is what Star Citizen's become now, this massive MMO with the planetary landings and all that planetary tech and the huge amount of gameplay and all this crazy stuff, which is really cool, if they can bring it together in the right way. And we just hope they can, and it looks like they are, and you can't debate and disprove people that think that that's not the case, because we don't have anything to back that up other than a trust in CIG based on what they put out. So people can have the opinion that, no, I don't think what they put out is showing that they're able to make the game that they're saying they make. Okay, that's their point of view. That's fine. They're allowed to have that point of view. So I think everyone needs to chill. But, I mean, be cautious, be intelligent, do the research, look at it. Just don't be angry at things. What piracy question did Aaron Robert answer? I asked him, could we sell stuff and that sort of stuff. So there's more gameplay coming for Pirates. There's more reputation stuff coming for Pirates all this year. There's going to be ways of selling items this year that Pirates steal, and that gameplay is very important to them. I can't remember exactly what they said. There was some other stuff I asked. Do you think the Reclaimer will need a larger hangar? So they're making the Port Olisar in the shorter term, Port Olisar landing pads bigger for the Reclaimer. Yes, Arbenji, you can serve a broom up your ass and sweep the floor if you want to. Yeah, no worries, mate. Cool, thank you. How will large cargo ships with big external containment work loading and unloading? So I asked about this actually as well. Tractor beams will eventually be coming in to help with the loading and unloading in space. There's going to be different ways that they deal with the loading and unloading when they land or when they docked. They haven't 100% decided exactly what they want because they are now looking at fun and gameplay over anything 100% real and physical because they need the game to be fun and playable and user-friendly and balanced and that sort of stuff. And that needs to trump realism and physics in certain situations. So we're not sure if it's just going to be you're unloaded, you're loaded, or if the big crew will come along with all the things and stuff. But they want that balanced. We're just not sure 100% what route they're going down yet. Not asking you to break NDA. Could you make a sound to express your opinion on the Reclaimer? With all the awesome but hard work they do, what was your general impression of the people working there? Still happy, still excited? Yeah, so they've got good facilities there now. They've got like little games rooms and fridges on all the floors, and they've got like some of them they've got 40k models on the desk and stuff, and they've got rooms they can obviously play that in. They're artists and they're treated like artists and they're treated well. I don't think they get paid too much. Which both makes me happy because I'm very thrifty as a person, and the cost of living up north is actually a lot cheaper. But also, I mean, you go, well, they could be earning more money in other places. And in fact, I did talk to one of the devs in the pub later and went, I could make a lot more if I went somewhere else. But I really like the project, really enjoy the team I'm in. I want to see it through. I want to see this great work all come together, and they really believed in it. So everyone I talked to was of the opinion that they love what they're doing. Some of them have very small teams and they're not really sure how it affects the project on the huge scale in the same way that I know, because I know what they're doing and how it connects to all the other things, which I'm in a very privileged point of view, that I'm external to their company and can look at all the stuff they do and have a reasonable amount of privileged information, sort of, and from going to like these office tours and stuff, so I can see what they're all doing and like read all of the stuff they put out and read all of the stuff that other people put out as well. But I'm very excited. They're very excited. What would you give up your channel to have the full game released tomorrow? No, because it's my job now. So no, I'm not at this stage where I can transition fully over to streaming either. For £1 million, would you? Well, I'll probably make more than $1 million in my lifetime with YouTube, so no. When do you think we will be able to ask the NDA questions you wanted to at your interview? I don't know, but I'm saving them for BritisonCon. I will add new questions with the old questions and see. Do you expect development and rollout of new systems, gameplay mechanics, etc. to snowball when object container streaming is completed? Potentially. I mean, they're working on a lot of the systems beyond object container streaming now already. But it's not really going to snowball. It's going to open up the gateway to a lot more stuff. It's an important cornerstone of Star Citizen. It means that we'll go from hundreds of players on a server to potentially up to thousands. It's core. I don't know what more to say. Snowball's an odd thing. Like it's so essential that you can't have the rest of the game without it. I disagree that they should have at least a playable game, Chubyub. What they should do is not market the game as a playable game like they do. They try and sell it like 3.1's a new release of a new game. So like a polished game. It's not a polished game. It's a fucking alpha project. Very much alpha. Most studios wouldn't be showing the shit that they've got yet. And they'd be further on the project because of it. Now, I love the project and hate it for certain reasons. Like, I love the fact we can have our say at all the different levels, that our input matters, that we can push things in the ways that we want. We get to see the mechanics, we get to see the game. I get to report on it. It's why my YouTube channel has evolved in the way it has. But I hate the fact that they try and sell it like a finished product already, like 3.0. 3.0 was buggy as hell. Like, it's an alpha, and even I was hyped about it pre-alpha, like before it came out. I was like, this is going to be really cool. Oh, it's being marketed as really well. It's great, but I have to work for the gameplay, and I don't want to work for the gameplay. I want to sit down and play a game. But I'm happy to wait for that. But when they sell every patch to me, like new polished, new big release, it feels like they're releasing updates to a full game, and they're not. It's not a full game yet. So they should manage expectations better. Is there anything in 3.1 that's not on the roadmap? Nothing I can talk about. I'm expecting to see things that aren't the roadmap directly appear. One second. Okay. No worries. So I was asking me something. I was like, no, moderators have full rights to do anything they want. I can deal with stuff afterwards. I always trust your opinions. Letters with Omega was decent, good. I'm glad, because I was part of it. It sucks, mate. When there's not NDAs, or when I am able to have a more pressy pass stuff with CIG, or when their studios become more open, or at certain events, I will go in with video diary stuff, definitely, in the future. They do have a little alpha disclaimer indeed, just I don't like the way they market it, but that's something I think they should not do. I can't tell you anything more of the functionality of wormholes other than, or the jump points other than Erin suggested that maybe we'll be doing stuff like that next year. Did you see anything new with the new direction for asteroid mining that replaces the voxel tech? No, I didn't. I did want to ask about, are they moving away from voxels entirely with asteroids, or are they doing something clever and different? But I was unable to ask that question. I think they're probably going to show some stuff off in soon, near future. No, people, it's okay. I've seen a couple of people clearly trolling in the chat, whatever, and that's fine. You're allowed to have your own opinions and stuff. But just everyone chill with stuff. It's all good. If someone has a different opinion from you, that's fine. Don't let it rile you up. They're allowed to have that opinion, you know. Were the concepts you saw big, small, or medium-sized ships? Yes. Did you see any non-combat unreleased concept ships on your tour? I certainly talked to... Yes, I did, actually. Yeah. And talked about them. I think he means jump points rather than wormholes. Are you afraid of losing interest in the game? That's a good question, because I do that with a lot of games. At some point, I probably will, like in a good few years, or they'll have to do something to encourage me to continue to playing after a good few years of playing. I think Star Citizen scratches more itches than any other game has ever. I played E for a good 3-4 years solidly. World of Warcraft for a couple. So, But it's an interesting question. As long as there's a good percentage of what they've promised in the game, the sort of the way I envision it, then I think the game will be great and be able to scratch most matches. But I'll be playing other games at the same time, so I probably won't lose interest at all. But we'll have to wait and see. It's a good question, though. What can they do to keep players interested in the game in the medium term? Because obviously long term they can release constant content and stuff and get people back in the game with big content releases. But medium term, you want people to play gameplay hooks and have that constant player base like that Eve has or whatever. Will I get my NPCs in-game that I can have help running my ship? When will I get? I don't know when they're adding NPCs to do that. They're adding the tech, a lot more of that subsumption and AI tech this year for NPCs. So I don't know when you're going to be able to hire NPCs to get them. Probably mid-next year. It's a rough stab in the fucking pull out my ass date. What's my favourite game at the moment? Quite like Vermintide 2. PUBG's a nice, quick social game I can play with my friends. PlanetSide 2's been pretty fun recently. I play a lot of games. I don't really have a favourite. How do you see the clean mechanics working? I don't know how that's going to work. I do know that there's going to be like dirt and stuff that is generated by people walking around. I don't think we're going to have a dress code for the Javelin. Why do I have a round and square icon? It's just because it's quite a large square icon and it fits in like a round box. There were no golden ticket perks. I don't think. The golden ticket was quite a vague statement on the golden ticket. I think probably some people got some stuff for it. Back to hangars. How do I move my 6 ships into a single hangar? Just go into a hangar and then click on the hangar points and spawn them. Yes, good interview, noob. I'm a good man. I need that sort of camera equipment, I think. Migo, what? Oh. I'm not having a special shower for the game, no. Female module, 3.4. Girls in 3.4. How far do you think they will develop the FPS side of things, considering it's not something they've really tapped into as far for the crowdfunding goes? Pretty developed. Like, they're working on a lot of the FPS stuff. I think they had an issue with Ilphonic back in the day, where Ilphonic made stuff the wrong size, and it delayed the game by like 6 months, or potentially longer. But they're certainly going to make FPS stuff pretty important to the game. Because you're not your ship when you're flying, you're your guy flying your ship. Don't know any timelines or release schedules for Squadron 42. They're not willing to talk about it yet, which is annoying. The only timelines that we're aware of are on the roadmap. 3.1 end of March, 3.2 end of June, 3.3 end of September, and 3.4/4.0, based on what they call it, end of December. I believe that alien species and even NPCs may react differently to you based on how you present yourself, or dressed, or showered and stuff. I have played Deep Rock Galactic. I quite enjoy it, and I'm happy to play it with some other people, actually. I'll see if Zen will probably quite enjoy it. G might. Zen and DC might. I'm not sure if Kit will. Maybe she will, I don't know. She's hard to please with games, is Kit. You can aspire to be a cleaner in game, why the fuck not? Why you guys forget avoid Arena Commander on talking about it? I'm not sure what that question means, because there was a question mark at the end of it. Arena Commander gets all the updates that Star Citizen does. 3.1 should have a good experience for Arena Commander and make it hopefully more competitive than it's ever been. Should be the best experience for Arena Commander so far, but we'll have to wait and see until it's in my hands, because it could be shit. Did you see a working Nox? Huh? Or do the jump erratic into space at CIG headquarters too? They're on the dev branch, and I didn't actually see the Nox in particular, although the Nox Q is now coming in 3.1. Did I see any flora and fauna? Yes, I saw some biome-based stuff. And we should see new biomes before the end of the year, yeah. I was very happy with what I saw at the office store. I was a bit upset I didn't get to see more Squadron 42 stuff. I didn't get to see more of the concept stuff or new ships that I hadn't seen before. I saw lots of updates to tech and stuff that were pretty cool. I saw lots of cool updates to the planetary tech. They look very pretty. I'll ask it at BoredGamer if not before about the Golden Ticket stuff. Yeah, no worries. Didn't know too much about it, to be honest. Next concept ship ETA. Either when this one ends, the 2nd of April, or the end of April, probably. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bored. Did you know if they're going to change or increase the size of the dots on our hangar floor? Oh, so they have been working on the port system and UIs and mobiGlass and lots of stuff like that for the usability of things, so you can see them better and you can find stuff better. So yes, they are working on stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's going to be increased for 3.1, but I expect it will be. I haven't even checked in the Evocati, to be honest. I will have a look. Do you think we're able to take part in Xi'an meeting ritual? No! Oh God, or at least observe. Orion, rough, dude. It's had a ball. Does anyone care about it anymore? I did, because I asked Aaron a question about it, and they are putting it into the game at some point. Keybinds and voice attack. Did we get updates on those fixes? I think I talked to Aaron about it after the interview. I will talk to you in a bit, Harbinger. I'll have a look through my notes. I definitely asked a question. I think they are working on supporting extended list of key bindings and custom key bindings that will also work with voice attack. I think it was something like that, but I will find out for you. You think someone spent over $600 on dual sticks and dogfighting is shit? What? Hurry for sellable. You cannot have my Optane drive. No. I'm also going to be getting the... there's a couple of other different types of super fast SSDs I'll be buying to test out. I may give them away or flog them on eBay and then do a ship giveaway with them, based on whether they're good or not. Mature themes like soft porn in game, nudity, drug use, and gore. There might be a bit more gore, but it won't be gore. I suppose it will be body damage that's not too gory. There might be drug use because you're probably about to sell drugs and narcotics. I doubt there's going to be soft porn or nudity in any way. There potentially could be seedy clubs, but it's not going to be like super sexy or anything because it will increase the rating of their game in a way that means they'll sell less copies or be less appropriate for certain countries. They're going to want Star Citizen to be as widespread as possible to make as much money as possible. Simple as that. They're going to be very soon, and it's one of the questions I asked Aaron about them being an expanding studio. They're going to start to, when they start to sell their game, they're going to start to act like a much bigger studio. They're going to start to sell a product, and it's going to be a very different experience for us, I think. Like, I hope they still keep the open development and indie studio thing, but they're a big studio. There's like 450 people working there or something stupid now, isn't there? Yes, I think we'll see Flora and Fauna before the end of the year, as I said. And yes, I did see some. Did your tour and subsequent interview at Foundry 42 reinvigorate your enthusiasm for the project as a whole? Did it see the same, or are you worried? Reinvigorated it. It always does. There's just more stuff I wanted to see that I couldn't. And like the Aaron Roberts interview partly got in the way of my tour, which is really annoying. I wish I could have gone there for 2 days. Interview Aaron one day, tour on another. I've been the best. I also want to do like a Derby studio tour and stuff. There's just lots of stuff I want in the game now that's not there yet. Because some of it looked like it was ready as well. Like it's really infuriating, but I'm certainly enthusiastic about it. I'm certainly hyped for it. But the problem with being like super hyped is that we are 2.5 years away from a beta. Like for those of us that weren't here for the original sale, do you think the Reclaim and Terrapin will go on our side to buy again around 3.1? Yeah, probably. Almost certainly. I think that was my 3rd or 4th tour. The last one I had. I don't actually know how fast the Grey Cat Buggy goes. I haven't measured it. I will. Even Noob's getting questions now. Shit. Noob, when is Spectrum going to fix the RSI website? Yeah. Well, I know they're continuing to work on it. After the interview, did it seem that it's fair... After the interview you did, it seems that it's a fair bit unlikely that we're looking at a single shard universe for Star Citizen. They are going to try and work towards that. That's definitely what they're trying to work towards. Do you think they would change the scope of the universe size if they decided to split the community into regions? And would there be real worry about empty filling game? No, I don't think so. There's going to be 10 NPCs to every player anyway. I think they're going to have a pretty large player base. And I think that hopefully they'll be able to get everyone on a single shard server or do something similar to that, or find some form of workaround. Because the pings aren't... The technology is getting better for it. If they can do some clever handshaking stuff, they can probably get the pings down significantly. We'll have to wait and see. I do think it's a valid worry to have, though, or a valid something to keep in mind. Let's see where it goes. But I do think they will go for the best solution that you can find, and that's very democratic of me saying that. But I don't know what that's going to be yet. I hope that it's everyone on one server. That's what I'm wanting. I know we'll be able to, they won't be regional locked though, so even I'll be able to play with the US. Maybe you'll be able to freely move around the servers if they did something like that. But hopefully it's just everyone in the same server. Same shard. CIG gave you an option to implement one feature into the game. What would it be? Player manufacture, probably. I want the ability to manufacture weapons, components, and even ships with stuff that I've harvested in game. That's what I'd put in if it was a possibility. We can use in-game currency. I believe the plan with Alpha UEC in-game currency to purchase ships in 3.2, I believe. I dropped $3 grand on that javelin. Good man. Get it in game, dude. Get it in game. Or you can fly mine. Come fly mine. Community javelin. Come play. Don't need to pay nothing, mate. Hello. Right. How long do you think it would take? How long do you think it should take the small salvage ship, medium ship, and large ship with your reclaimer? Nom nom nom. Oh, I don't actually know the length of time of stuff. That sort of stuff has to be balanced well as well, so that there's a chance that pirates and other players can interrupt you and attack you, and that you're not harvesting too fastly, making like loads of money really easily and stuff. So I don't know. It will be balanced by us, I suppose. Harbinger, I'm going to show Letters from Vega, and while I'm showing the first bit, because I've already seen it, I will, I'll go grab a drink for myself. Is that okay with people? What ships do I have, Migo? A good range of them, most of the industrial ships now. How long can you lend your ships out for? Stuff that hasn't been confirmed yet. The Freelancer Dirt is coming indeed. What's the most expected features of this year and in each patch? The thing that I want the most is object container streaming and then planets this year. But there's actually loads. I mean, Aaron says he's most excited about land claims and the stuff that you can do on those land claims coming this year. When is the next time you'll be playing with Kit and the rest? Later tonight? Oh, it's fucking almost 8 o'clock. We're going to chuck on Letters from Vega. I'm going to grab a drink while that's on. I'll come back, answer a couple more questions, and then I'm going to go host one of the BoredGamer people, who I'm assuming is streaming. If they're not, fuck it. Let's get this on screen. Shpoop. Oh, no. Oh, how do... Do I go to editor? I do. And then, so I'm using the new Streamlabs OBS, which is why it's actually fucking really awesome, but I'm a bit confused by it. I click on desktop, yes, and then I click on this, and then we see that we might need to raise the volume slightly.
There was a time when I knew nothing of fear.
Right, I'll just turn that down slightly. Is that alright? Is that alright volume-wise for everyone? No, Aaron started talking about jump points in the interview. I didn't ask him about them. He started talking about them and saying potentially next year. Jumping to other systems. That's what he said. Boom. Oh, no, 1 second. Oh, fuck it. Leave the stuff on the screen. Sorry. Sorry if it gets in the way of anything. Thank you, Deco Mart. I love your face. Right. Gonna go to drink. Start watching this.
There was a time when I knew nothing of fear. A time when the greatest worry of my life was being taken seriously. Then everything changed. I was there when they came. Real assignment, but it was the beginning of the end.
Seriously, Kishi? You couldn't spring something better than a rusty freighter?
Dallin, you know I don't have any budget for that, and it's against company policy anyway. You know I'm putting my neck on the line giving you this assignment to begin with.
And I appreciate it, Kishi, really. But 5 systems in coach is a little much.
At least we get to see another system.
Well, if it's that rough, you could have paid for the upgrade yourself. It's not like you're hurting for money.
Oh, and what about Eddie? Should I just relegate him to the cargo hold?
Hey, keep me out of it. I'm just happy to be off Terra. I never get to go anywhere, so I'm not really complaining.
Oh, fine, whatever. We're almost there anyway, but you're gonna owe me a drink when I get back. And Kishi, thanks for the assignment. I promise not to mess up my first real story.
If it's good, I may buy you 2 drinks. Be safe, and good luck. Your father will have my head if anything happens to you.
Thanks a lot for the support.
Don't blame me. You dragged me into it.
So, what are you doing?
Testing the camera out with some shots of Eramis. It's a really beautiful planet with those rings and all that green. Take a look.
Wow. Hey, has that thing been on the whole time?
Yeah, why?
Eddie!
Amidst the heated debate over the proposed so-called militia tax, Meal was quoted as saying the citizens of Aramis are only too happy to pay their fair share to donate to the cause, but we will not accept an increase while Celine continues to harbour these self-styled dissenters.
State your business today, please, ma'am.
Dalen Cross, TSN. We're here to interview Colonel Crandall. We should be on the list.
Okay, one moment while I verify.
You two told him, yes sir, chapter and verse. You drop out of quantum too close to the atmosphere, sometimes...
Okay, ma'am, you're clear to proceed. Down the road to the end of the hangars, then right.
Thank you.
HQ is the building with the tower.
Oh, this will make a great intro piece.
Yeah, a great example of military waste. All this equipment must be costing the taxpayers a fortune.
Well, the Vandal are right next door. You would expect them to have some real hardware here.
The Vandal haven't shown their ugly mugs for anything more than a small raid in decades. It's overkill.
Did you notice how everyone here carries a gun? They certainly don't think it's overkill.
It's me!
Well, you are on the ass end of the verse
I always dreamed about flying one of those. Can you imagine?
That's provided peace of mind since 2738. It's no one.
That's not me. That voice in the background now is not me. But I was the radio DJ.
Our homes and our lives shouldn't need a ride. Reliable with no frills. It's a trusted friend.
Oh, I wish it was Squadron Weekly in the background, mate.
We don't
This is made in CryEngine, this mission, man.
care about being infected.
Imported over, wham bam. If they'd given us more modding tools, the community, we'd be able to make stuff like this significantly easier, much better, much high quality as well. This is great.
When we get there, I want you 2 paces back and over my left shoulder. Left is my better side, so make sure that is the profile we get in all the shots that are in full front.
Okay, boss lady.
This is fan-made, yeah. It's pretty impressed as well. It's very well done. The only thing I didn't get as on with was the lip animation stuff. That's obviously up to doing games. So I was criticising it as a professional piece. It's fucking, the voice acting is amazing.
You must be Miss Cross.
Letters from Vega.
I'm Lieutenant David Ewing, public attaché for the base.
I'm sort of cameo roving.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant Ewing. This is my cameraman, Eddie Daniels.
Hiya.
Nice to meet you as well. Please follow me. I'll take you up to see Colonel Crandall.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Still better facial animations than Mass Effect.
Mr. Daniels, you'll need to turn the camera off until we get to the Colonel's office.
Yes, sir. No filming for sensitive stuff. Check.
Just about ready?
Good to go.
Colonel, are you ready?
Yes, Miss Cross.
Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm Dalen Cross, and today we have a very special interview for you. For years, the debate over military spending has raged in the UEE Senate. Currently, over 10% of the GDP for the Empire goes to defense. Many, like Senator Polo, have argued that this is excessive, given our stable boundaries with the Xi'an and the Banu, the lowering incidence of piracy along major trade lanes, and the long absence of serious Vandal activity. Others, like Admiral Bishop and Senator Hartwell, whose homeworld Selene is on the front line of the Vandal frontier, have argued that this is just the calm before the storm. Today, we are at the new Corvo Naval Base, speaking with the man in the hot seat, the commander of the UEE Naval Forces on Aramis in the Vega system, a decorated veteran, Colonel Bradley Badger Crandall. Colonel,
Badger.
Thank you for taking time to speak with us.
Always happy to speak with the press, Miss Cross. We serve the people of the Empire.
Can't get on.
Should know what is going on.
I can't get all the lip animation, but it's fucking so good.
Let's start with the question that underlies all of this. Is there a real and present danger from the Vandal that would justify the lavish level of defense spending by the current administration?
Well, that's a bit of a leading question, but the answer to your question is absolutely yes. The Vandal are still as dangerous as ever. Many in the more peaceful parts of the Empire hear of a Vandal raid on Selene or Aramis, and it's just a statistic to them. To us, it's loved ones and neighbors being killed or tortured, their homes burned and pillaged, and the promise of their lives snuffed out, and that still happens with alarming regularity. You see these? These came from a Vandal killed in a raid on Lucerus, a settlement east of here. It was burned to the ground, and every man, woman, and child killed or abducted, for God knows what purpose, about 6 months ago. You can still see blood on the visor from its last victim. I keep these here to remind me that the Vandal are always there, waiting in the darkness.
This is Letters from Vega.
Looking for a chance to bleed and rob us. I fought the Vandal for 30 years in the 38th. and I learned just how cunning and patient they can be.
Still better than Mass Effect Andromeda.
Make no mistake, they are just waiting for their chance.
But what about the blockade of the Virgil jump point? How are Vandals slipping through with an army of mercenary and militia ships covering their only way into the system?
Well, we appreciate our civilian and contract partners, but they are no substitute for a proper UEE naval blockade. Captain Khan and the UEES Poseidon are out there with a small task force trying to coordinate things. But at the end of the day, discipline isn't the strong suit of most of the ships and crews holding the line. Holes are bound to open up, and space is a big place.
He's right, it is a big place.
There's also way more traffic going through the jump point than there should be. The descendants of Orion can't get enough of jumping to Virgil to beard the Vandul in their den, so we don't know if it's a friend or foe coming back until after they transit the jump point. One of these days, they will go too far, and the Vandul will decide to put a stop to it. Mark my words, the Vandul are coming again, and right now, we are not equipped to handle them.
That's pretty ominous. Moving to another topic.
Oh no, he knocked the camera off the table. This is a drill. Oh, she's got a sassy walk. I know this isn't in the Lumberyard engine, or in the Star Citizen engine, because there's a woman. So, facial animations, anything I can get on with this. Like, it's not awful or anything. It's just the rest of it is so good. The animations look out of place. Fucking amazing job there, especially with the camera work. Please, look at this.
Indicate a massive quantum fluctuation at the Virgil jump point. Captain Kong reports a large Vandal fleet has entered the system. The Poseidon and the blockade forces have engaged the main fleet, but...
But what, Captain?
I need a vector. Now.
Stand by, Captain.
God, it's undetermined. Make your best guess.
Scramble all forces immediately. Cool. I want the bombers and vanguards out there holding the line. Get us some air cover. Have the reserve personnel prep anything that'll drive or fly, and start evacuating non-combat personnel and civilians from the city. Send a message to Admiral Bishop and inform him of our situation. All remaining personnel are to go to the armory and prepare for a ground assault.
Colonel, we have a video and tactical holofeed from the Poseidon.
Put it on the main screen.
Focus all batteries on that driller. Bring us hard starboard and fire.
Aye, Captain. Coming starboard.
Where are those damn corvettes?
They should be here any minute.
Damage report.
All breaches on the engineering and crew decks. 2 shield generators have been destroyed. The hangar is out of commission, and we just took a hit to the reactor.
Engineering. How bad is the damage to the reactor?
The reactor controls and shielding are gone, sir.
It's got Scotty.
We need to abandon ship.
How long?
Could go any minute. We're still taking fire.
Issue the order to abandon ship. All crews to the escape.
All hands. Abandoning the ship.
Holy shit. It's
Get those birds aboard. Jump points lost.
Yeah, this is the
Get these people out of here!
I was very impressed with this fan-made machinima, to be honest. The camera scenes and the fast-moving bits are really impressive. This sort of stuff.
I need to get you both to shelter immediately. Get in the jeep.
Lieutenant, this is the biggest story of the last decade. Someone has to bear witness, and we are here with the cameras rolling.
Apparently Argos can go from ground to space.
Some underground bunker.
Miss Cross, I have my orders, and you are civilians. You'll be in the way and at risk if I leave you out here. I cannot.
Lieutenant, David, I know you have your orders, but the Empire's citizens need to see this.
I do need to get you somewhere safe. The hangars on the other side of the base are armored, and you can film a report on the ride over.
Thank you.
Even the privately owned stuff, it's all in play.
I think that might have been a nod to...
TSN, anybody, can you hear me? Oh, please come in. Damn it! No one is answering. The biggest story in decades, and I can't even get through to set up a broadcast.
I'm ready when they are.
Keep trying.
Blockade is reporting heavy casualties. A battle carrier is broken through an entered quantum on the trajectory for Aramis. Contact imminent.
DC is really into the Witch from Left 4 Dead, so I think anything's an improvement on that. Now, if we get cool combined arms fights like this, shit me, I'll be happy. Pretty fucking awesome though, yeah? Just the lip thing for me. That's the only thing. I love it though. I love it. And the voice acting's really good as well. And the fast moving work is great. And the storyline is great. It's like, oh man. Oh. It's so good. Oh. That's letters from BoredGamer, mate. That's part 1. Yeah, I thought it was pretty badass as well. Remember Vega 2. That could have been a harvester. I think it was. It looked like a kingship though, but it might have been a harvester. They're smaller, I think. Little mini harvesters. Movements up my skin. Some harsh criticism, but I think it is one of the best things I've seen all week. And I went on an office tour. No, it was awesome. It was awesome. Good job. And I like the fact that I was in it as well. I'll do some quick questions, and then we'll go and host someone else. Maybe it'd already been battered by that kingship, eh? The code is invalid. Oh, I'll be there in a second, Zen, anyway. Don't you worry. Anything else I can quickly answer? Do we really have to worry about random people attacking us at all possible times? No, there's going to be safer systems. It's going to be really hard for pirates to get into certain systems that are UEE controlled. There's going to be security responses. Also, you can hire escorts. There'll be harsh, aggressive repercussions for people just randomly trying to attack you. Yeah, there's going to be scrambling in-game, as it were, where you have to run to your ship because you've automated something where you're doing something else around the ship. Someone attacks you or quantum interdicts you, or you're on a big ship and you get into combat, whatever. I think the woman did change clothing in the middle of the battle attack. I think she did. Yeah, you're going to see lots more missions this year as well. More and more missions in the Persistent Universe, and with each patch. No, I think there is going to be tweaking of that device in space as well. So with interdiction, one of the things is that you can drop that a quantum device that will quantum interdict, quantum disrupt quantum drives. But I suspect you'll be able to set the size of it and stuff like that of the orb to a certain extent. So there will be skill in that. There's going to be skill in where you actually place it, because you don't want to pull out combat fleets. You want to pull out specific targets. So you're going to need to know certain routes and things. It's going to be a reasonable amount of skill. And they'll be detectable as well if you don't use them right. I don't think we'll see the giant Eve-sized battles in Star Citizen. We'll see huge battles. We just won't see 10,000 players in a single space. That's insane. Because the spam entries and monthly giveaway stuff only records one comment per video per person, per account, effectively. So that's how it stops. It doesn't matter if they keep on spamming. They can only do it once per video anyway. And I do want interaction. I just don't particularly want spam. If I see someone spamming, I'll just hide them or ban them from the channel anyway. So, or the automated system does it basically. As soon as 3.1 comes out, Zen, download Star Citizen, and we'll be right on that. You, me, G, potentially Noodle and DC and other people as well.
We'll have to wait and see how stable what 3.1 is when it goes live. Anyway, we are going to go and host someone else, because I am going to be playing some other games in a bit. But I'll see what the rest of the BoredGamer team are doing. Team. They are playing something. Are they playing... Kit is playing... Thingamajig. DC is playing stuff. And G is... What do you want to watch? Do you want to watch Vermintide, NS2, or Final Fantasy 15? It's your fucking choices. Because I am going to jump off, get a drink, get some food, and then jump into a game of something. 3.1 is coming live at the end of March. That is a pretty hard date for it. That's really planned to be that date. For PTU, probably in the next couple of weeks. Did you hear anything about alien concept ships in 2018? Nothing new that I didn't know already. Monty. Yeah, the idea is 3.1 is going to bring a lot of persistence and fix a lot of the issues that 3.0 had, but also have that general stability and the core experience better for ship flight and ship mechanics, and actually have persistence working properly, be a lot more optimized. It's got a good load of features as well. Right, I'm going to drop you on G's channel, because I'll come into chat in a minute. And he's playing some Vermintide 2. He should be quite talkative. Give him some love. Love the faces. Love you. See you soon. Hosting this bad boy. If you've got any questions that you want me to ask at BritisonCon, or if you want to ask me anything, or join in the community on my Discord and play random games with us, including things like Unreal 2004 that we played yesterday, and PlanetSide 2, and Star Citizen, and all that sort of stuff. We're playing lots more in 3.1, like I will be doing community events and things. Then jump in the Discord, say hello. If you've got questions for me, do the same there. If you've got questions for Debs that you want me to ask, do it in there. Suggestions, feedback, whatever. If you want me to look at a particular org or a particular product or whatever, again, just give me a poke. I love you guys. I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you in the verse. Don't know why I said that as a question mark. Boo, boo, boo. Right. See you in a bit. Mwah.